Guys, it's time. I'm officially getting my claws back. I've not gotten my nails done, like as in like long fake nails, in probably 4 months. The last time I had like extensions on was probably near the end of summer, but I had to take a break because my nails were actually so damaged and I didn't have anything on. Recently I did like builder gel, but I just miss having long nails so much. I don't know, I just feel more like put together when I have longer nails, and I feel like I've given my nails a long enough break, but who knows, I might regret this in 4 months. But all I know is I'm just really excited to get my nails back. I kind of know what I want to get, but also not exactly, so if you guys have suggestions, let me know. I want to do like a fun nail design just because I haven't gotten my nails done in so long, and my nails have just been like so plain for the past couple of months. So, but nothing Christmas themed yet because that's a little too soon. And my birthday's next month too, so this is gonna be my set right before my birthday. Also, there's a video going around of this guy getting interviewed, and he said some pretty interesting stuff, and you guys think it's my boyfriend because they're wearing the exact same Halloween costume. Mind you, a very basic Halloween costume. And everyone is jumping to conclusions saying that that's my boyfriend, but I can promise you that is not my man. I personally have not posted his face on the internet, so I don't know why people are so quick to assume, and people are so quick to jump to conclusions without even knowing what he looks like. And also, like, so many of you guys have already leaked his face, so if you just put them side by side, you can very clearly tell that they're not the same person. Anyways, I had a really productive morning so far. I had my 8 a.m. and I had a quiz in that class, and I'm like 99% sure I aced it. I'm gonna be kind of shocked if I got anything wrong. I don't know, I'm just really confident about this quiz for some reason, but it's for math and I'm not good at math. But I'm like required to take a math class for my degree, so this is the only math I'm ever gonna do, and then I'm done. And then I just did a workout class, and now I'm getting my nails done, and then I have another class later tonight. So it's been a pretty good day so far. Also, I just got the like Rode PR box for Haley's birthday, and it's so big. I'm gonna do an unboxing for you guys later. Also, I found this Chanel cream in my closet, and I've been using it for the past like week, and it's so good. Oh my god, I've been using it day and night. It feels so good on my skin, and it smells really good. Speaking of, when I went through my closet, I found a bunch of these like nude sticks blushes, and every time I get my makeup done, the makeup artist always use these on me, and they're so good. So I'm gonna be using them too. Also, my pinky nail is finally fully grown back, so I can put a nail on it today, and I'm so excited because this has been broken for the past like 4 months because it snapped off this summer. Okay, this is actually such an underrated blush because look how pretty that is. I took such a long break from my nails. I haven't seen my nail tech in like 4 months, so I'm so excited to see her and like catch up. Also, I'm not gonna do like super long nails just because I'm low-key like traumatized from it breaking all the time and just my nails being so damaged in general, so I'm probably just gonna do like short gel X. Or if my natural nails are long enough, I might just do builder gel, but I don't really think they are. Setting spray. Also, I forgot how good this Rare Beauty lip gloss is. Bye, guys.
I don't blame girls who don't want to date guys who have girl best friends, because I was a girl best friend and I was like completely in love with my guy best friend. Let's talk about it. It's actually funny because I really didn't realize how bad I had it for him, because like he would date other people, I would date other people, he would like hook up with a bunch of people, and I knew like way too many things about his like intimate and personal life. Sounds so pick me, but we had 2 other guy friends in our group, and I truly thought I was like one of the guys. We would like hang out all the time, and like to be honest, I really was when it came to those other 2, but for him we were just a lot closer than I was with the other 2 guys. Everyone knew that we were like the closest, but I just chalked up to like, that's my best guy friend. And like I said, I was boyfriend for a long time, like this long time boyfriend, and when we broke up, like I really wasn't even that upset over it, and that should have been like the biggest red flag. Hello. Brings me to this girl he was dating, Monica, who hated my guts. And you know what, to be fair, Monica, I get it. Anytime he would be like, oh, I'm hanging out with the guys, that would include me, and like anytime he and I were like wanted to hang out, or I wanted to hang out with him, he would like immediately drop what he was doing with her and coming out with me. And when this was happening, I didn't see a problem with it because I wanted him to hang out with me. I knew Monica did not like me and I didn't like her, but it was all confirmed when I heard her talking shit about me while I was in his room. This is gonna sound super fucking weird, but I would always like take a nap in his closet because he would come into my house, or I would go to his house, and like we would sleep over over at each other's houses, but as we got older and like hit puberty, we wouldn't sleep in the same bed because, you know, that was just weird. And I liked like the comfort of his closet. Like I said, I know it sounds weird, but I was in there and the door was closed, and Monica and her friend who were hanging out with my best guy friend's sister at his house, they were in his room like trying to break into his stuff, like to his messages. Heard them say stuff like, I know he's into her, I know he likes her, and the other one was saying like, no, I think they're just friends, like they're the same friend group, da da da. And she's like, no, I just need proof, blah 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 blah. So like they were trying to like, I guess, see his messages from his computer. I knew as soon as I told him about all this, he was like gonna end things with her and drop her, but she had no idea that I was in there. They were saying a lot of not so nice things about me. And like at first I was just waiting because I wanted to see like everything that they were going to say about me, because who was going to miss an opportunity to like hear shit people are going to say about you when they don't think you're around. If you want to find out about having sex in the name of the book, check the caption. Bye.
Lies I've told my fiance, except he's editing this video. The first lie has to be when we were first dating, right? We were getting to know each other. You were getting to know a baddie, right? And I told you that my family came from a long line of witches that we did santeria. And you actually believe that shit. And before y'all come at me in the comments for lying, listen, I said that so my man wouldn't play with me because I was kind of threatening, like, oh yeah, we know how to do spells. Like, I can really put a curse on a hoe if I don't like you. Forbid I didn't want a man to play with a baddie, you know what I mean? I think the worst part about this is that I forgot to tell him that like I was just playing, okay? And when he first met my mom, like he actually asked her about it. Jaden, you really shouldn't even get mad at me because like I did it to protect myself from the fake men, okay? Next lie has to be the fact that sometimes when you come home back from work and you ask me like, oh, do I smell bad? Do you want me to shower? I will purposely tell you that you smell good, like that you smell clean, just so I can like smell your body odor. And trust me, you don't smell stinky. It's just like the smell of like you plus like soap that you wash yourself in the morning. No, I feel like girls just all relate to this. Like something about a man's armpits. Like, or just something about a way a man smells, like when he's been out all day. Coochie wet for real, I'm sorry. Next lie has to be, remember when we went to a Peruvian restaurant like 3 months ago, like around where we live, right? And they were serving cuy. If you guys don't know what cuy is, it's basically guinea pig, okay? It's a Peruvian delicacy where they basically like fry up some guinea pig. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And if you guys don't know me, I'm Peruvian, so obviously I've had cuy before, but Jaden, I told you I didn't, right? Well, obviously I lied. Obviously I've had cuy. You know, what Peruvian has not had cuy? Let's be separate. And I felt bad telling you in the restaurant that I've already had it. So it's just a little white lie. You know what I mean? I wanted you to think that I have never had cuy so we can really just share that first time bond of eating guinea pig. The finished makeup routine, and I already know that you're not mad because look at my face card.
Get ready with me to see NBA YoungBoy. And you're probably sitting there thinking like, oh my god, Paris, you listen to YoungBoy? Wow, you're so cool. I don't. I don't know, y'all. That's YN music, and I am not a YN. So I just... just kidding. I know all kinds of people like listen to YoungBoy. That's fine. I don't care. My little brother is a big fan of him, and I promised him back in May when we saw Kendrick and SZA that I would also take him to see YoungBoy for his birthday. And his birthday was back in September, so that was like his birthday present. So we're going to see him. And honestly, I just love going to concerts in general. It really doesn't matter who it is. Like, I'm gonna have fun regardless. And I get to hang out with my brother, so it'll be fun. You know what I mean? One of my friends is also like really obsessed with him, so like I tried to like listen to his music and get into him before the concert and stuff like that, and I just I don't know how y'all listen to that, but you know what? It's still gonna be fun. It's okay. We team NLE over here. Low-key, I'm kind of irritated because I thought the concert was the 11th for some reason. So yesterday I was reminded that it's today and I don't have an outfit or anything, and I'm like last minute doing my hair and like I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do with my makeup. I wanted to wear green because that's like the theme, right? Like slime or something, some Nickelodeon ass shit. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I literally don't own green whatsoever, especially like bright green. So I guess we're gonna have to improvise like with some green fucking eyeshadow or something, bitch. I don't know. Yeah, for the outfit, I literally have no idea what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna wear some like baggy jeans and like an oversized shirt. I don't know what the fuck to wear to a fucking YN concert. I know somebody's gonna be mad because I keep calling it a YN concert, but that's what it is. That's what he is. That's what it's filled with too, okay? Actually, I'm in Arizona, so I don't think there's gonna be a lot of YNs there. We don't have, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you know? So what's like the Mexican equivalent to a YN? Not an Edgar. Or is it? I don't know. You get my point though. Like, anyways, I did see that he was bringing people out on like certain dates and stuff like that. Like I saw he brought out Offset and like a couple others, I believe. So hopefully maybe like we'll get somebody cool today, you know? So I'm not just sitting there like watching YoungBoy. Like maybe like I'll get Offset too, you know? Or like didn't he bring out Sexy Red and stuff? Maybe he'll bring out Sexy Red again. Who knows? I don't know. Probably not. Nobody ever brings anybody out for fucking Arizona because everybody hates us. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I know I'm over here talking a lot of shit, but like I'm gonna have fun. I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun. And I know that like I was watching a lot of other videos, you know, from his other concerts and shit like that, and his fans are like really hype. So I feel like it'll be good vibes, hopefully, you know, hopefully nobody gets pew-pewed. All right, y'all gonna have to stay tuned to see the full final look, okay? So sorry.
Story time about how I used to want to be a missionary, but when I was on a trip to Thailand, I realized that I might be doing more harm than good. And the reason that I have never shared the story before is that every time I think about it, I feel physically sick. So I joined a very culty ministry school called Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry when I was 18 years old. And I was convinced that I was going to be a missionary for the rest of my life. This sector was really big on signs, wonders, healing, raising people from the grave. It was a lot, and I have since deconstructed all of that, but I was fully convinced that I was going to be a full-time missionary. Every year you had the option to go on a mission trip. So for my second year, they ended up placing me on a mission trip to Thailand. And when I look back on this trip, I cringe so hard because we really didn't do that much other than go and minister to other Christians. So it's not even like we were evangelizing all that much. We were kind of just going to places that would welcome us, and we were trying to activate them in the Holy Spirit. Now, a lot of crazy things happened while we were on this trip. There was a time where we illegally crossed into another country on a boat, and we got caught. So they took us onto their military base and had giant you know what, and it was very scary. They did end up letting us go when our leader offered to give them alcohol if they let us go. So that was crazy. We got invited to, I believe, the mayor's daughter's wedding because they wanted us to come and bless their marriage. So we attended this wedding, went to the reception, prayed over them. But the main part of our trip is that we went to an orphanage and we spent a lot of time with the children there. Now, this orphanage had worked with Bethel, and I believe they also worked with YWAM. So this was not the first time that missionaries had come to meet the kids, and a lot of these kids had just absolutely horrific backgrounds that just completely broke my heart. And when I went to meet the kids, I met this one girl, and she was probably around 9 or 10 years old, and she immediately just clung to me. And for the entire trip, which was only like a week, she was by my side the entire time. And I was actually pulled aside at one point and told that she had just gotten there, and that 1 week before we showed up, her mom had actually taken her life, and that this little girl was grieving the loss of her mom. She was so affectionate with me. She always wanted to be hugging. We would play games together. She would draw me pictures. I still have some of the pictures that she drew me, and she would call me her big sister. And when I ended up leaving, she wrote me a letter saying to please not forget her. And she just kept saying that over and over as the trip was coming to a close. So it ended up being the night that we needed to say goodbye. And it was hard to say goodbye to all of the kids because I had bonded with a lot of them, but specifically this little girl, knowing the trauma that she had just went through of losing her mom, I felt like I had made her fall in love with me and that I was abandoning her. And it makes me sick to even think about it now. And as we were hugging and like saying goodbye, she didn't want to let go of me. So the missionary woman who was the head of the orphanage, she ended up like prying this little girl from my arms and taking her away, and she was like screaming and saying like, sister, sister. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. So I ended up going to the missionary woman and saying like, can we just have like a better goodbye than that? Like, I feel like she's really upset. And the missionary woman was saying, this is why you short-term people shouldn't come here. Like, it's not good for the kids. Or she was saying that it's better to just have a clean break. And when some of us asked if there was any way that we could stay in touch with these kids, she pretty much said that it was not a good idea to do that, that it's better to just cut contact, that way these kids can move on. And it was so painful just hearing her words in my mind of her saying like, please don't forget me, please don't forget me. And I remember being on the flight home. I'm not the victim in this situation, by the way. I like do not believe in missionary work anymore. I'm just saying that this is the first time that on the plane ride home, I was realizing, I don't think I helped her. Like, I don't think that that situation was actually that helpful. And I mean, yes, I did love her during a very difficult time, but also I think she connected with me right after her mom passed, and then I just left. And that was extremely painful for her. And I started to think about all of the things that we did on this trip, like what we prayed over, people who were getting married, and then we went to this orphanage where we pretty much just hung out with the kids and we tried to activate them in the Holy Spirit, which is so cringe. We did go around and knock on doors, but what help were we providing? And I think that was the first time that I really started to realize that I don't think that we did any good at all. And I know that I have a lot of ex-ministry people who follow me, and I would love to know, what was your breaking point? When did you realize that you might be doing more harm than good?
I absolutely did, and I have even more. So here's part 2 of a list of things that I hate. Coming in strong with number 1, the writers of The Walking Dead and Grey's Anatomy. Oh, I hate them bitches with a fiery, burning passion. I hate a bitch who writes a show and kills everybody. Everybody! Spoiler alert, but oh my god, beat Glenn's head in, killed Carl, 007 my nuts! Hate them real bad. Hate them real bad. Number 2, man colds. Not to be confused with me hating that men get sick. Men are allowed to get sick. Men are allowed to need a little bit of medicine, a little bit of orange juice, a little bit of R&R, okay? I hate a man cold, which is when a man's wife or children get sick, and then all of a sudden he's got to be sick too. That man could have woke up that morning, detailed his car, went to the gym, did 10,000 steps on the motherfucking treadmill, did 50,000 fucking jumping jacks, but the second his wife or children wake up with a sore throat, now all of a sudden, you know what? I think my throat's hurting too. Oh, fucking eat shit! I know what men like that are doing. Some of y'all might not realize what they're doing, but I know what men like that are doing. Y'all are doing that shit because you don't want to have to be responsible for caring for the people that you claim to love. Your wife is sick or your children are sick, and you don't want to be responsible for having to make them no soup. You don't want to be responsible for having to go to the store and get them no medicine. So now, within seconds of finding out that they're sick, even though you've been perfectly fine all day, within seconds of finding out that they're sick, now all of a sudden, you're sicker. You're sicker. Nobody could ever be as sick as you. You just don't want nobody asking you to do shit. That's all it is. That's literally all it is. Number 3, overly judgmental moms. Like, you know those moms who just sit in the mom groups all day, just making fun of and ridiculing moms for the most, like, nonsensical shit. I hate an overly judgmental mom in general, but especially those breast is best moms whose fucking infants couldn't pass a drug test. Oh, bitch, don't get me started. I knew a girl one time, she would get on Facebook and she would talk down to formula moms. I mean, even talk down to the ones who are using formula because they literally aren't producing breast milk. They can't produce breast milk, or they're not producing enough. Talk so much shit to and about formula feeding moms just for her to lose custody of her infant twins because they both tested positive for crack cocaine. Breast is best. Breast is best, not yours. Going around preaching to people talking about breast is best without mentioning the fact that your breasts are producing fucking paint thinner. You're feeding your child the paint thinner that was used to make that meth you smoked. Number 4, the plastic surgery Power Rangers who like to pretend like they didn't have no work done. Especially the ones who go on to become personal trainers. And they sit on social media posting pictures of them pre-op, pictures of them before they had plastic surgery, and then posting pictures of them after getting plastic surgery and claiming that all of this is just gym gains. Just gym gains. I got all this in the gym. Who do you think you're fooling? It's like, I understand the concept of needing to go to the gym to maintain your plastic surgery results. And if you want to become a personal trainer that specializes in helping girls maintain their plastic surgery, pop off, queen. Why are you going and getting a BBL and then posting videos of yourself in the gym doing squats and RDLs with the worst form we've ever seen in our life, claiming that all your results just came from hard work in the gym? Somebody ought to go in there and whoop your ass. Number 5, people who refuse to drink water. Like, I can give a little grace to the people who just don't like how it tastes. I mean, I don't really understand that concept because it doesn't really taste like anything. Like, I do understand that some water is better than others, but like, I can understand if you just don't like how it tastes because it's bland, right? You don't really like it, but you drink it, right? I can give a little grace for that. But the people who just flat out refuse to drink water, you're never drinking water. If I find out that you never drink water, I don't even want you using the bathroom in my house. Bitch, you won't come and corrode my pipes, pissing out battery acid. Number 6, the people who will call you parasocial for making one video criticizing their favorite celebrity. Meanwhile, they spend all day, every day sending death threats to anybody who criticizes their favorite celebrity. I'm parasocial for making one video criticizing this person over something that they chose to share with the world. But you're not parasocial. The one who is so dedicated to this absolute stranger that you're willing to get online and commit multiple felonies. Okay. Number 7, the parents who have always got all the money in the world for the things that they want, but magically can't ever afford shit for their kids. Y'all ought to be mugged. I mean, genuinely, y'all deserve to be victims of a strong armed robbery. Because what do you mean? I mean, truly, I wish y'all nothing but financial struggle. I do. May your pocket be picked and your purse be snatched. I mean, you ain't spending the money on the babies anyways. I mean, truly, y'all will be at everybody's concert and everybody's club, at everybody's party, and everybody's liquor store, at everybody's trap house. You ain't got the money to buy your baby a Happy Meal. Daddies will have chains and gold grills. The mamas will have designer handbags and designer high heels, but y'all can't afford to get y'all baby no fucking braces. Y'all deserve to be robbed. Y'all do. Number 8, and this one really grinds my gears. I get real bent out of shape over this one. But adult children or family members in general who deprive their elderly parents or their elderly family members of their final wishes as if they're not gonna die regardless. Like, what do you mean your elderly grandfather, your elderly father has been given a week left to live? He's asking for a slice of chocolate cake and you're looking him in his face and telling him that he can't have it because it's not good for his diabetes. It ain't good for him. Yeah, neither is that stage 4 metastatic cancer that's riddling him from head to toe. What are you talking about? Genuinely, they'll be laying there 95 years old, deaf and blind, in total organ failure, and you're gonna sit here and tell them that they can't have a beer. I wish I would live long enough to be old as mummy shit. Y'all come up to me in the last days of my life trying to tell me what I can and can't have. What do y'all get out of doing that? Is that y'all's way of convincing y'all that y'all are going to magically be able to keep them alive longer? You're not. You're just making their last days miserable as hell. You gonna do all that? Just stay home. Number 9, workout classes. Don't get me wrong. I always thought that I would want to do a workout class. I always thought maybe I'd want to go do a Pilates class, a yoga class, something like that. But then them classes started popping up on my For You page. The lives and the videos. Why is the room so damp? Why are we all trapped in this little dance studio? No ventilation, no windows, the door is closed. At least put a dehumidifier in this bitch. This room has turned into a sauna, but the steam is all of our sweat. Why are we all marinating in each other's body odor? Oh my God, the room looks damp. The air looks moist. Everyone looks funky. I had a yoga class pop up on my For You page on live, and so I started watching it. Everybody was in that bitch barefoot. Just a bunch of sweaty bear dogs. Oh God. The sounds that everybody's sweaty skin was making. Ugh. It looks like my worst nightmare. It just looks so stank. It looks stank and damp and oh God almighty. I can't even talk about it too long. It disturbs my spirit. Number 10, paying subscription services for a product you have already bought. I thought I wanted to get me a Peloton bike one time, right? Like I said, the influencers actually ended up accidentally de-influencing me from going to workout classes. So I was like, you know what, maybe I can get me a little Peloton bike. I can get the feeling of being in a workout class with a trainer without having to be trapped in a fucking dance studio breathing in people's perspiration. But then I came to the realization that not only do they expect you to spend like $14, $16, basically like $2,000 on the bike, but then you've got to pay a monthly subscription fee to do the little workouts on the TV screen that's attached to. Burn the warehouse to the fucking ground. Burn it down. That as bad as the damn Teslas. I just found out today. I saw a video today that informed me that not only do you buy the Tesla, but if you want to be able to use the self-driving feature, you have to pay a monthly fee. It's like $100 a month. $100 a month to have a robot potentially crash you into the side of a building, drive you off the side of a fucking cliff. That goes hand in hand with paying subscription fees for especially streaming services, and then everything not being included in the subscription. What do you mean I pay all this money? What do you mean I pay all this money for the subscription fee, But every movie I want to watch is an extra added fee. Or it's some extra super duper subscription. Yeah, you pay the original subscription, but if you want to watch any of the movies worth a fuck, oh, you're going to have to pay this extra subscription. Like, what do you mean people pay for Amazon Prime, but all the movies they want to watch are not included with Prime? The subscriptions have become a plague. They've become a plague. Me personally, I have had enough.
Whether you're a preference or not, it should be considered an Olympic sport to get a black man to marry you. And I think for preferences, they believe that this is actually a very easy feat, and then they have to waste 10 years of their life. They have to get baby mama like everybody else to realize that black men don't get married, okay? They don't identify with getting married. They have a strong aversion to getting married. Black men refuse to ever put themselves in a predicament where they would be forced to be accountable. They don't want to get married because if they get caught cheating and then they get divorced, they fear that they're going to lose money. Just like when they get a woman pregnant, they don't want the mother of the child to put the man on child support because they don't want to be held financially accountable for the child that they created. I personally don't know if Jhené Aiko has a preferential mindset, as in her being rooted in a hierarchy where maybe she figured if she was a preference, she was going to get a ring. No matter what race you are signing up to be dragged through the mud when it comes to you dealing with a black man, and your goal at the end is potentially getting a ring. They're going to make you fight tooth and nail for a fucking ring, no matter what race you are. And if you give them everything that they want before a ring, their motivation to give you the ring drops down drastically, because black men don't really get a whole lot of social credit by getting married because they don't hold enough value in the patriarchy like white men do, which brings me to my next point. Black men do understand the potential benefits that come along with being married, especially when they are in Hollywood. It makes you look a lot better. It makes you look a lot more grounded as a man when you are married to a woman. But when he was with Naya Rivera, who he was engaged to, he ended up calling the engagement off. Naya Rivera did a Uno reverse and quickly got married to Ryan Dorsey, literally like 5 months after the engagement was called off. I personally don't support the divestment movement because men are men, regardless of their race, profession, geographical location. They all have a penis and they tend to all act the same way regardless. But statistically, it is known that black men marry the least. Even when they marry their preference and they statistically have a higher chance of marrying out, they still marry the least out of any race. I don't know why y'all are signing up for these long-term humiliation rituals in order to get a man to marry you, especially a black man to marry you. Like, you are legit signing up for a lot of women, a minimum decade-long humiliation ritual, because I tend to see this only with black men. It's typically women that I see dealing with black men that they've been dealing with the same black man for 10 years and they still have no fucking ring, but they got babies all over the place, knowing that they wanted to be married before they had the baby. Jhené Aiko could have been a mega star at this point if she wouldn't have allowed her energy to leak into a 10-year relationship that got her nothing but a child. And I'm not reducing her child to being nothing, but during all the times that she was publicly speaking, it was very clear that she wanted to be married. So she had all that energy leaking into a relationship when she did not get her desired result. If you're looking to get married, I wouldn't be looking in the direction of black men. Like, I'm sorry. Like, they would be the last group of people that I would be looking at, no matter what shade or color you fucking are. Statistically, your odds are going to be lower of getting married when you're dealing with a black man. Your chances are going to be higher of you being baby mamaed. Something to think about.
Join the live and comment LeBron James.
So whoever put this curse on me today, I demand that it's ended effective immediately. It ends today. Because I don't know how much more I can take. You see the smile? Oh, it's fake. I am fucking done. So this one's a fresh one. It started 6 hours ago. Actually 7, but I hate odd numbers. So today starts semi-normal. I wouldn't say that the heck started beginning today, but I was irritated this morning because I had to wake up to go to work. Whatever. Have to do it every single day like everybody else in America allegedly has to do. Not cool about it. Not happy. Whatever. I did it. I'm a survivor, okay? I'm going to work, and honestly, nothing was out of the ordinary, okay? I get to work. Of course, I'm, 2 to 3 minutes late just to keep people on their toes. Walk in. I start giving my waves. Nobody's in the mood. We're all pooped, okay? So I'm waving at people. People have their heads down. I said, all right, you know what? Let me get active. Let me start doing my job, right? When I'm allegedly getting paid. And the way my job works, at least, we used to have 30-minute breaks, but our hours extended. So those breaks have extended. Perfect. Love that. Only good thing about it, right? I leave literally in the morning. I get there when it's dark out. I leave when it's dark out, but I get an hour of free recess, I guess. I feel like I'm back in school, right? An hour of playtime, but the playtime is being an adult, and it's getting as much food as I can in my stomach until, I feel sick. But I was overhearing one of my coworkers the other day, and he was like, oh, I'm going to get my hair cut on his break. And I don't know why that, clicked something in my head, and I was like, wait, I can be productive on my break? Okay. Once again, normally during my hour breaks, I kind of just sit there, sulk, and scarf down my food within 10 minutes, and then I just complicate my life for the rest of the 50 minutes. But I was like, wait, I could be doing errands, because my whole time I was like, oh my gosh, I get home from work, I sleep, wake up, go. I could be doing errands. So before I went to work today, I carefully was like, okay, what errand am I going to do today, right? How am I going to make myself productive instead of, just stuffing my face and having a food eating competition in my break room? I got to return a few things. Checked my bank account this morning, and I started it off wrong, and I was like, okay, shit. I got to return things, right? There's too much clutter in my house. I need to just start mass returning, right? How do I make myself afloat again? It was just Halloween. Thank you, Jeff Bezos, for providing my costumes. None of them fit. All the wrong size, all the wrong make and model. Ignore my Instagram pictures. They were just all fraudulent, right? I got to return all of them. But the only places to return them are further away from my house, right? Keep in mind, I work about 30 to 35 minutes away from my house. And the only place to return them is about 30 to 35 minutes away from my house. So I was like, wait, I started doing math on my hour break. I can do some returns and make some money, right? Make myself productive. So I lug so many fucking boxes into my car this morning. And then the second it hits my break time, which is at 1 p.m., I was like, you know what? It's time to lock in. So I had this whole plan. I was like, okay, I already did the whole Amazon receipt thing on your phone. I got 14 different QR codes. I don't know where the fuck they're all linked to, but somehow it's going to put money in my account. And the drop-off place was Whole Foods, okay? And once again, where I work, it's near another town where the Whole Foods is. So basically, Whole Foods from my house is about 30 minutes away. Whole Foods from my job is 10 minutes away. Easy, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? Take my lunch. I'll go to Whole Foods, return all this shit, and then basically lunch is free. I'll just eat lunch at Whole Foods. I've never been to Whole Foods a day in my fucking life. Get into my car during my 1 o'clock lunch. I get in my car, I want to say about 1:05, right? A little bit of loitering in the office. And I was like, all right, it's game time. Let's make some money. Punch in the Whole Foods. It says about 15 minutes away. That kind of startled me, the extra 5. But I was like, you know what? It's totally fine. I got an hour. I start driving. I have to get onto the highway. Everything's fine, right? Air is slightly crisp. Winter is among us. It's still daylight outside. I'm not used to driving during daylight now, right? During weekdays. And it gets to be about 2 to 3 minutes until I'm to the Whole Foods. And I'm kind of driving, and I'm on a strip. And I'm hold on. Nostalgia, flash. This Whole Foods, it's right in my old college town. Actually, right in that fucking epicenter, right? And everyone in my college town has been to this Whole Foods but me. And this Whole Foods is almost like a monument, right? It's a 3 to 4 story Whole Foods. I've never in my life knew grocery stores got that fucking big, but apparently in my college town, yeah. So I was like, okay, wait, I think I see what's going on here. And it was taking me to the Whole Foods garage. They got a whole ass garage. Am I in Los Angeles? So I pull up, and it's one of those things where you have to click for a ticket, and I'm seeing signs everywhere the first 120 minutes is free. And I was like, perfect. My hour, I only get 60 minutes. And you know what? It's always going to be. Pull into a parking spot. Oh, the whole parking lot is borderline empty. And I'm like, I love this. I love it here. Get out of my car. I have 18 different boxes. It looks like I'm moving into the Whole Foods, right? I'm moving into the TV dinner section, because that's all I can fucking afford. Got so much in my hands. I start walking. I was like, hold on. Wait, I need my ticket because I have to go, right? Because I looked back at the sign, and it was 120 minutes, all caps, with validation in small print. Waddle back, I get my ticket, and I was like, okay, what I'm going to do, I'll return everything, and then I'll buy something, and then get it validated, and somehow that equals free. Perfect. Walk in, once again, I'm the mover squad at this point, and I have my validated ticket in my jean pocket, right? My Sheen jean pocket. Walk in, once again, it's an 8-story ordeal. So I'm like, where the fuck do I go? Immediately my eyes lock into the sushi section. So I start floating there with like all my fucking boxes in here. I'm like, you know what? I want to investigate, you know, the product here, the resources before I return everything. First thing that caught my eye, $16 for a sushi roll. One roll at that. Huh. The fuck not. Once again, I'm not shading Whole Foods. Probably good as fuck. I've never been to one in my life out of my budget. Okay, it was Whole Foods or Whole Air One. I didn't know what the fuck it was. $16 for a sushi roll. I don't have the money. Okay, I'm used to grocery store sushi being $6, and it makes you sick after eating it. Hopefully, this one doesn't make you sick. Then suddenly, I glide over to the sandwich section. The sandwiches weren't much better. Priced at $24 somehow. What the fuck? At this point, I'm getting like too confused, too stressed out, and then I make eyes with an employee because I was like, okay, I have all these Amazon packets. Like, where the fuck am I going? Welcome to the Amazon, not the Amazon, the employee at Whole Foods. And I was like, hey girl, I'm new here. As you can tell, she said, yeah, what's going on? I said, where do I put my Amazon package? Where do I return? I start getting a little bit emotional. She's like, go to the second floor. Start walking over to the escalators. I'm so distracted at this point. I start walking up the escalator that's going down, and an employee has to scream, sir, that's the wrong way. I look drunk at 1 p.m. Get off there, almost hurting myself, and then I walk over to the escalator, the correct one, and I go up, okay? Walk over to the line. There's like someone in front of me, whatever. Then it's my turn. He's like, hi, how are you? The guy's very fucking nice. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get all my QR codes in a bundle, right? They were not in a bundle because I did not screenshot them and I had no internet in the Whole Foods. So I'm standing there and I'm like, I'm sorry. I look like a con artist, right? Like I just robbed the Louvre basically. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm trying to get my QR codes. And he's like, okay, I can help the next guest. Fuck. Now I feel like I'm back to customers. Outside, of course, the next guest, they're better than. Finally, I get these stinky little QR codes up and I'm like, all right, here you go. Now, while I'm pulling them up, I remember, I'm like, oh my gosh, one of the things that I'm returning, I don't have one of the products. It was with one of my costumes. Long story short, it got lost in translation, one of the products. It was like a 30-pack. How do I describe it? It was a Halloween costume, and it came with like a hat, another item, and like a small little tote bag. And it was like all of that for $30. And I did not have the small little tote bag. It got lost in the District of Columbia. I feel like I'm straying myself out right now. Jeff Bezos, if you see this, is totally a joke. Alleged. Anyways, I'm looking at the guy and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it didn't come like with the tote bag. And he's like, oh no, like that's our job. Like we just bag it. And I was like, no, baby, you're not understanding. Like I don't have some of the product. And he's like, ooh. He's like, did you tell them? I was like, I think so, whatever. He's like, okay, like, well, you're gonna have to redo that return. I stand there for 10 minutes and finally I was like, okay, I redid the return. I handed him the same QR code. I didn't know how to redo the return. Nicest guy ever. He's like, okay, whatever. Finally, that's done. Okay, stress over. And I was like, okay, well, I'm really fucking hungry. So like I proceed to walk back downstairs. I start looking at more food items. They're priced astronomically. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is not for me. Take myself back to the car, right? Lunch break is almost. I proceed to walk out of the whole store and I'm like, okay, like time to get into my car. And I'm like, oh, I didn't get the validation. Okay. But you know what? You lose, you lose. I don't fucking care. It's fine. I'm too lazy to walk back in there. It shouldn't be that much. I get to the gate to leave, and I click forgot ticket. $30 starts blinking at me. $30 for 4 minutes in the Whole Foods? Not actually 4 minutes, but you get what I'm saying? 20 minutes at the Whole Foods? Is this $2 a minute? No. I'm like, okay, shit. So I start touching my pockets. I don't even have the actual ticket, babe. It's gone. It poofed out my jeans. Shouldn't be a problem. Maybe somebody could help me. I reversed the fuck back out of there. I'm back in the parking lot once again. I can't leave. The gate won't open. And I walk my ass back inside. And I go pull a cashier. She looks so fucking sweet. I'm like, hey, girl, like, I can't find my ticket. I'm trying to figure out this point. And I'm like, what should I do? Like, they're trying to charge me $30 to leave. I don't have $30 fucking dollars. She's like, she looks at another employee. She's like, I can give you like this validation thing, but like you don't have like the actual like original ticket. So I don't know. Basically just try to get out, like see if this works. If it doesn't, like hit the phone button, like to get out. Like they should be able to let you. I'm like, okay, I go back to my car with a heavy heart, put it in drive, go up, go to the thing. I try scanning the validation thing. It will not work because I don't have the original ticket. No problem. I start hitting the phone button, the call button. That doesn't work. And all that's flashing to me is $30 is due. You don't have a fucking ticket. I'm banging on the fucking call button at this point. It's not working. A line's forming behind me. I sit there for 15 minutes because, bitch, I don't have $30. A line is wrapped around the whole garage at the point. People are fucking honking. People are starting to get out of their cars. People are flicking me off. I'm hearing obscenities like screamed at me that I've never heard before at a grocery store. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm the problem. I'm the edible fucking face. Finally, I start seeing a big, large man start walking towards my car because I'm holding up the line. As he fucking, I say, fuck it. I do outpay really quick. I'm like, no smoke. And I paid $30. Then I remember I placed a Chipotle order. So I start driving to Chipotle. I drove to the wrong Chipotle. 20 minutes away. I was an hour and 30 minutes late back to lunch. And I didn't get paid for that. I'm out of $40. $10 for Chipotle, $30 for parking. When will it end? When will it end?
Okay, so this is going to be more of a serious story time. So, trigger warning. This is the story about the time I was traffic coned. And being a pillhead pretty much saved my life. This is where my curiosity and my boredom almost got me unalived. So all of this takes place in LA. I couldn't have been more than 19 or 20 years old. I'm a midnight ballerina at the time at this club in LA that's not just known for being a club, but it's known as a popular filming location, right? There's a lot of music videos and movies shot at this club. I'm sure everyone in this country at least has seen at least one video, one movie with this club that I used to work at. Anyways, they closed the club down for a day, and I guess two of the girls that are supposed to show up didn't show up. So the director, whoever was in charge of casting, needed girls. And so my manager calls me and is like, bring one of your friends. So I bring one of my little girlfriends, and we hang around to wait for our part to film in. They never actually showed me in that video. But anyways, we're waiting around to film, and we end up meeting the guys. There was guys on the set too. I end up meeting this guy, right? I thought he was cool, smooth talker. Mind you, I'm only like 19 or 20 years old. I'm still like very fucking naive. I thought he was charming though. I had spent the entire day talking to him. I got there at maybe 11 a.m. and I didn't leave till 2 a.m. the next day on set. I was on set all day and all night. And so I spent that whole time talking to him in between like filming and stuff. So he invites me over, right, to like a little kickback. And naively, me not knowing this guy, I agree. I'm like, okay. So I end up at this hotel. That should have been my red flag. Again, I was a stupid little girl. So I show up to this motel. He told me that we were going to go out to dinner, but he wanted to pre-game in his room. He told me that he wasn't from that town, and that's why he got a motel room, and that before dinner, he wanted to have a few drinks and, you know, a little herb before we went out to dinner. So I was like, okay, which to me wasn't that unusual. Like, because I do that at home. Like, I still do that at home. And I used to do that with my homegirls. So I'm like, that wasn't that unusual. So I go to the room, and there's this girl already there, and there's a guy. And this room is adjacent to another room. Like, it's an attached room. He didn't tell me there was going to be anyone in this room. He made it seem like it was just his room. So immediately, alarms are going off. I'm like, okay, but I don't say anything. I'm hungry. I'm dressed up. I sit down. He pours me a drink. You know, we start, and everything is normal, except I noticed that every time he would get a phone call, he would look at the girl, and the girl would stand up, and he would hand her another cell phone, and she would go into the adjacent room. And then she'd be there for like 10 or 20 minutes, and then she would come back, hand him money, and hand him the phone back. And she did this like 4 or 5 times while I was there. And so my thinking was like, they're dealing, okay? You know what I mean? I'm not thinking traffic cones, but yeah, or SW work. I'm not thinking that. Again, I am a naive little fucking girl. I wasn't more than 20 years old. Anyways, I start asking like, hey, you know, we're like 4 or 5 drinks in. I'm getting kind of tipsy. Like, when are we going to dinner? He keeps stalling, right? And finally, after like 2 or 3 hours of me sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually gonna go home. And suddenly, when I tried to stand up, like, the whole energy in the room shifted, right? Him, the guy, we'll call him T. The guy that I met at the video, so T's blocking the door, and he had a brother that they called Ox, okay? So they're both blocking the door and pretty much like threatening violence. Like, I'm stuck there. They made it very clear that I'm stuck there. I can't leave. A bunch of other shit happened, but I can't like get into it on this app.
But a bunch of shit happened. I was stuck there for 4 days, forced to do a bunch of things with people that I didn't, want to do. I was being forced substances. Start with H. So I was like literally a zombie, couldn't do anything but just lay there. And I couldn't ask for help. I couldn't even ask the Johns for help because remember how I said he was giving that girl a phone when she would walk into the adjacent room? Well, that phone was so that he could hear. He would, like, I guess, call himself on his cell phone, and he could hear the conversation that was going on in that room. So if I asked for help, I was going to get hurt. So 4 days of that goes by of me, being like forced all these substances and just being treated horribly, trapped, until I realized one day I used to have this purse that had like secret compartments, right? Because of I didn't want to get in trouble with the cops. I used to take Xans. I was a big fan of Xans back then, and I had these little secret compartments in my purse. They took my phone, but they let me keep my purse, and I guess they didn't go through it good. I had like a decent amount of Xans in one of my secret pockets, right? So I get the idea while I'm like, sober enough, because remember, I'm pumped full of stuff. I get the idea, I'm like, I'm going to crush these up, and I'm going to put this in his drink, because he would drink a lot of vodka. Like, I'm going to DRUG him. But I would have to wait till his brother Ox would leave, right? So I noticed that every day for a few hours, 3 or 4 hours, his brother Ox would leave the room. I guess he had a family to tend to. So I was going to have to wait until Ox left the room. And when his drink wasn't attended. So when he was in the bathroom. And I know you guys are going to say, why didn't you just run out when he was in the bathroom? I was scared. I knew if I had done that, he would have heard me. And even if he didn't hear me, if he got out, like, he was going to catch up to me. I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do this, I had a decent amount of time and that he was down. So sure enough, he ends up going to the bathroom, and it's just enough time for me to slip it into his drink and mix it up really good. And he drinks the drink and ends up passing out, like really good pass out, like an hour or two later. And I just run out of the room, and I just run as far as I could until I got to a grocery store. And I call the only number that I can remember, which was an ex-boyfriend of mine at the time. No, I did not call the police. I was scared to death, and I felt like they weren't going to believe me anyway because I was a dancer, and they were just going to ask me, like, why did you just go to this random guy's house? I wasn't going to do all that. So my ex comes up picking me up. He ends up saving me, thank God. I did not go back to that club because I was terrified of him going there and looking for and finding me. And so I find another club to work at. I spend the next year and a half, I want to say, looking over my shoulder, scared to death, because LA is small. Like, he could just hit up every club and eventually he'll find me. So I'm constantly looking over my shoulder for a year and a half until one day I get this call from there's no number on my phone, and it's the FBI. And I get scared shitless. I hang up the phone. They wanted to talk to me about some things that I had witnessed or may have been a part of. And they had asked me, do you know Mr. So-and-so? And I didn't know. I didn't know his name. She was like, well, you might know him by T. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I do know that guy. And she like briefly tells me what he's in trouble for. And she's like, we would love for you to cooperate. And I'm just, no, I hung up the fucking phone. Never answered an unknown number again, no number again. And I later find out that he ended up doing 10 years for traffic coning. So, yeah. But I still look over my shoulders, and I still have nightmares about that ordeal. And I still fight because I had developed an H habit, because that was the first time I was pumped up with it. That's what he used to get me to, do whatever. And so, yeah, it was a long battle with H. But I'm clean now. But that's a part of my story. But I am nothing but thankful that I got to leave with my life, because some women aren't that fortunate that, you know, fall into those situations, but lesson learned.
Storytime and how I was talking to two brothers without knowing they were brothers and got caught up. Okay, so both of these boys added me on Snap. They both didn't have last names on there, so I wouldn't have suspected that they were brothers in the first place. Automatically off the bat, one had their location on for me and the other one didn't. And they also didn't really look alike, so I don't know. I just never would have suspected that they were brothers. So the one that had their location on for me was trying to hang out with me, and I was like, you know what? Who cares? Because at this point I've been talking to both of them for like a month. The one that wasn't trying to hang out with me, we were like kind of serious, but there were days like we didn't really talk, so but we were still considered in a talking stage. So okay, I need to make this more simpler. The one that's trying to get me to hang out and has a location on for me is Tree, and the one that doesn't really talk to me but we're still in a talking stage is Pumpkin. So Tree and Pumpkin both told me that they each had a brother. So they had divorced parents though, so Tree would stay with his mom and Pumpkin would stay with his dad. So Tree invited me to his house, and mind you, this was the mom's house. So I was like, okay, yeah. So I got ready and then I went over to his house, and when I got to their house, she's like, oh, you're gonna meet my brother too? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'd love to meet your brother. So his mom was out in the kitchen and I met her. So we went out into the living room, and then he's like, okay, wait, I'm gonna go get my brother real quick. So I was like, okay. Couch was facing away from like the hall, so like where he'd come out from. I was low-key sitting there like so awkward, but finally they came back. They came around the couch and in front of me, and then Tree was like, okay, meet Caitlin. As soon as I seen Pumpkin, my heart dropped. I was like, there's absolutely no. I just stood there frozen. I literally did not know what to say. My face the entire time was like, I didn't even say hi or anything. I was just like, oh my god, what's your brother? His brother was staring at me like, oh my gosh, it was so Tree noticed it and he looked at us and was like, what's wrong? And then Pumpkin literally straight up says, I'm talking to her too. Yeah. And Tree was just sitting there. I was like, what do you mean you're talking to her? So I didn't know what to say, so I was just like, I low-key did not know you guys are brothers. I'm so sorry. I did not know. Then I told him, okay, I gotta go, like, this is weird. And then as soon as I left, I blocked both of them and never talked to them again. So I couldn't tell you what happened after that, but basically that's your sign to be loyal. Make sure you know kind of like who people's siblings are before you start talking to them. That was the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me my entire life, and that checked me real quick, so not like that anymore, guys, I swear. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Bye.